Hello, everybody. Welcome to Diego Knows. I am Diego, and now we are going to talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, that movie came out. I wanted to wait until everybody has seen it. I wanted to wait till the weekend was over before I can give you my review. I actually watched it like on Thursday. Okay, so I've already seen it. I've known what's going on. I've watched it twice already. I actually went to the theater to go see it. All right, it's a Marvel movie, I know, but you can't really experience that at home. You got to watch that in the theater. So that's what I did. Okay, I'm not a big Doctor Strange fan. Okay, but I do respect the character. My favorite is Spider-Man, but Doctor Strange was actually created by the same two creators, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. They created Spider-Man. They also created Doctor Strange. The same two guys created Doctor Strange. So I always had kind of a passion for him. I thought he was a really cool character. When I was a kid and I was first introduced to him, I was reading the old stories. I didn't read anything modern about Doctor Strange. I was reading the old stories, the reprints, from the 60s before I was born. I was reading those stories. I thought the guy was kind of cool. He did magic and shit, sorcery. I think that was kind of cool. I like the fact that this guy is so powerful, but yet he really has no powers. Okay, he's a normal human being. He can manipulate magic, but anybody can do that if they know how to do it. Okay, he's just better at it than mostly everybody else. Okay, but he has no powers. He has no super strength. He can't fly. His cloak levitates him for him. He can have his astral form come out of his body. I thought that was kind of cool. Like he can ghost himself literally and come out, and do things, in his astral form. I thought that was really cool. That way he can go investigate stuff while his body's still where it is. But so he wasn't exactly OP'd. He could do all these crazy things, but you could still hurt him. You could still kill him. Okay, so I like that. I like the fact that he had a vulnerability. Okay, behind all that magic, he's an ordinary guy. So I thought that was kind of cool. Well, I like that about the character. Another thing I really liked about the character, that really hit home for me as a kid was that Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange was an asshole. He was a legit asshole. Okay, he was a fucking piece of shit asshole. He was a like the best physician out there, okay, best surgeon out there, but all he gave a shit about was money. He didn't care about his patients. He didn't care about anybody but himself. He was just this arrogant fucking prick, and nobody liked him. Nobody wanted to be around him. He only cared about himself. He was this big fucking asshole. And then all of a sudden he gets humbled. He gets in a car accident where he loses his hands. He can't perform surgery anymore. And you would think that a guy with all that education, all that medical knowledge, should become a teacher. He can still teach people. He still teach upcoming surgeons. He's the best, right? But he didn't want to do that. He wasted all of his money that he made trying to find a cure for his hands so he could be a surgeon again, and nobody could do it. So he finally had to go to some quack people, and they ripped him off completely. So he ended up having to go to fucking Tibet, the Himalayas, and where he met the Ancient One, and he actually gets his ass kicked right when he gets there. He's got nothing. All the money he had left over, he spent on his expedition to Tibet, where he goes to Kamartaj. He meets the Ancient One, who's an Asian guy. Yeah, it wasn't fucking some white chick with bald hair. He was actually an old Asian guy. Okay, not Tilda Swinton. Okay, so he goes up there and Ancient One's he's already got a disciple named Baron Mordo, who was actually not black. He's actually white. He's like Romanian. He's from Transylvania. Yeah, Carl Mordo, who's a white guy, not a black guy, and he's there, and he's like the evil student, who takes advantage of Doctor Strange and tries to hurt him, and the Ancient One has to break the spell. He's like, I'm going to choose you. So he learns how to become a master mystic, and eventually he surpasses the Ancient One and becomes the new Sorcerer Supreme. It's a really good story, and he decides to change his ways. He realized he can never be a doctor again, not a surgeon again, but he can help the world in other ways. He learns that about himself. And when we learn why he was such an asshole is because his sister died when he was a little boy. Not when he was a little boy, he was a young man when his sister died. And he tried to operate on her as one of his first patients. Because he blew right through medical school. He was so smart. Like he actually became a practicing surgeon in his late teens. Like he was just a genius. He went right through medical school. And he could not save his sister. And his sister died. And so he decided that he was going to spend the rest of his life, just worrying about himself, and then there was an origin to his selfishness, to why he was such an asshole. He never got over that. He never dealt with that trauma of losing his sister or blaming himself for it. That's why he had to become the best surgeon in the world, because his mind wouldn't let him go there, that it was his fault that his sister died. because he wasn't good enough to save her, you know? So there's a lot of pathos to this character, a lot of hubris, and I like that about the guy. That's one of the things you got about the Marvel characters. They weren't one-dimensional like the DC characters were. DC Comics saw what Marvel was doing, and they started doing that to their characters, okay? But before that, the DC characters were very two-dimensional, very one-dimensional. Good guy, good-looking, hero, costume, powers. Boom, that was it, okay? There's no reason why they are the way they are, you know? They're just good. And the bad guys are just bad, and that's pretty much it. Think Batman, the TV show, okay? Why is Batman Batman? Well, his parents that we don't see that. He doesn't talk about it. Why is Batman Batman? Oh, because he's doing the right thing. Exactly, because he's just doing the right thing. Why are the villains villains? Because they're just evil. That's why. There's no pathos behind it. No, why? You know, so none of that. So with Stephen Strange, you got that. So I really like that about the character. So I like Doctor Strange. Now, as far as this movie goes, okay, this is a sequel, but it's not really a sequel. Okay, it's Sam Raimi directed this one. I guess the original director, the guy who directed the first Doctor Strange movie in 2016, he bailed out. He said, "Fuck this, I'm out." We don't know for sure why. You know, they have non-disclosure agreements. They can't talk about why, but he exited the project over creative differences, the standard, you know, press release that they always give you. And they brought in Sam Raimi. Now, Sam Raimi, if you remember correctly, Sam Raimi directed the original Spider-Man movies, the ones with Tobey Maguire. He directed the first three. He directed all of them, actually. He didn't come back for the fourth one, and then they rebooted the franchise. But Sam Raimi directed those. He also directed the Evil Dead movies. So, you know, Bruce Campbell, his best friend, the guy who played Ash in those Evil Dead, he's going to be in every single one of his movies, and he has been. He's cameoed in every single Sam Raimi movie that he has done, including Darkman. He showed up at the end, you know. But Sam Raimi, they brought him in there, and he has his own style, you know. Like I said, he's known for those Evil Dead movies. That's what put him on the map, Hollywood-wise. He's known for the Evil Dead movies, okay? And they hired him to do this Doctor Strange, and I gotta say, I wasn't that impressed with his direction. I think he was handcuffed a lot by the producer. By that I mean Kevin Feige, the executive producer of Marvel Studios. I think he basically told Sam Raimi, "Hey, listen, you can put some of your stuff in here, but you know the stuff that you're known for, like zombies and shit, and Book of the Dead, and you know Bruce Campbell, and those little fucking jokes. Okay, you can put some of that in there, but basically, I want you to follow this formula that we already created." Okay, and I think that's what he had to do, which sucks because it was mostly about like highlighting the cameos and not so much about the story, and that kind of bothered me a lot, you know, because you know we had Spider-Man: No Way Home. And all the cameos that showed up in that were fucking out of this world. That's the reason people went to go see the movie, is because of the cameos. Like, oh my God, Dr. Octopus is back. Same actor. You know, William Dafoe is back as Green Goblin. Holy shit. You got Black Tobey Maguire. Oh my God. You know, like, of course we're going to go see that. Well, Hollywood's catching on that trend now. Oh my God. All of our movies got to be like that, or else we're not going to make $1.8 billion. You know, so that's what the new Flash movie's doing. That's why they brought back Michael Keaton. That's why they brought back Ben Affleck, even though he already got fired as Batman. You know, that's why they're doing it. Okay, to try to cash in that Spider-Man No Way Home money, and that's what they're doing here too. Okay, let's bring back these characters, you know, because they acquired the rights. Marvel acquired the rights to Fox. Disney bought out Fox, so all the characters from the X-Men movies and the Fantastic Four movies, now Marvel owns them again. So what are you going to do? Yeah, let's put them all in there. You know, that's what they did. So otherwise, I think he was kind of forced to do this, you know, and so he really doesn't get to shine. There's some really good moments in the movie, but it's not, you know, it's Sam Raimi light. It's Sam Raimi light, definitely, because this is a popcorn movie. And Sam Raimi, he can do popcorn movies, obviously, but you know, if you remember, like Spider-Man 2, okay, with the one with Dr. Octopus, that was one of the best. That was the best Spider-Man movie ever made, in my opinion. Now, I know I did another video where I said, hey, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home is my favorite. Well, Spider-Man No Way Home is my favorite Spider-Man movie, okay? But the actual best, like Christopher Nolan Dark Knight scale best Spider-Man movie ever made was Spider-Man 2. The one with Dr. Octopus, okay? That movie worked on so many levels. They had so much to say. I mean, they were dealing with all sorts of issues here. They were dealing with loss. They were dealing with growing up. They were dealing with responsibility. They were dealing with giving up, wanting to choose your own path instead of the path that was chosen for you. You know, there were so many different levels going on here in that one, you know. Redemption. They turned Dr. Octopus into a character that was a lot better in the movie than he ever was in the comic book, you know. So there was a lot of things. I mean, you could even find male impotence was even in that movie, okay? I mean, they had a lot going on in there, okay? So that was one of the best, But of course, Michael Chabon, co-wrote Spider-Man 2, and he did The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, that novel, which was about the Golden Age comic book industry, which he won a Pulitzer Prize for. Look it up. But anyway, we're not talking about that. So in Doctor Strange here, Sam Raimi has the capability of making a very well thought out movie, but this one wasn't it. I think he was kind of like forced to make this movie, and so his talent didn't really shine through like it should have. Okay. Having said that, I want to talk about the good things in the movie, because there were some good things. The movie's not terrible. It's not great either, but it's not terrible. The good things I liked about the movie, the coloring was very good. It's got the Marvel color, the bright colors. Doctor Strange's cape is bright red. His shirt underneath is bright blue. So they got the comic book stuff in there. The characters look, very cool. Their outfits, like Wong clearly has gold and green. Scarlet Witch has the maroon and the scarlet. So the coloring was really good. It looked really good. Hopping through the multiverse. Every multiverse looks a little bit different than the other one, than another version of it. So that looked really good. It looked like a comic book movie. So I appreciated that. The action was top notch, like always. There's a certain level. A lot of people don't really appreciate the action in these movies a lot. Now Marvel has a standing policy. Usually whenever they get like a real good director, the director doesn't actually direct the action scenes. They actually hire somebody to direct the action scenes. Okay, like that's what they did with the Eternals. But Chloe Zhao doesn't know fucking shit how to direct action, so they hired somebody else to direct the action scenes, and Chloe Zhao just directed like the dramatic scenes in the Eternals. All right, and that's typical. That's what they do. You don't know that, but that's what they do. Okay, I think Sam Raimi has experience directing the action, so I think they left that alone. But so the action was pretty good. Okay. I like the whole idea of Wanda, because here's a character. She's a very three-dimensional character, which I love that. Like Thanos was probably the best Marvel villain they've ever had, because he was very three-dimensional. You knew exactly why he was doing what he did. And if you were just a little bit off center, you might actually agree with what he was doing. I could see the argument where you could convince yourself that Thanos is actually right. Thanos is actually the good guy here. The Avengers are the ones trying to stop him, the end, because in the end, the ends justify the means. You can definitely look at it that way. That Thanos was the hero, and the Avengers were the villains. You could there's definitely a way to look at that. And they're doing that with Wanda. They're doing that with Scarlet Witch. Like her grief. Jesus Christ, we already had a whole fucking miniseries on Disney Plus about Wanda dealing with her grief, and guess what? She still ain't over it. She's still not over it. She's still dealing with it. And by dealing with it, she's fucking killing a lot of people again. All right, But at least we understand why she's that way. Okay, we understand why she is there. Okay, why she can't let go of things. Things have to go her way. Okay, because she believes in her mind that she's doing it for the right reasons. That she thinks that something was stolen from her. She doesn't want to accept the fact that she never owned it to begin with, so it couldn't have been stolen. I like the pathos about her, because we've seen Wanda be a hero. We've seen her help her friends fight, Ultron and shit. We've seen her, we've seen her fall in love with Vision, the human vibrator. Okay, we've seen all that, so we understand her. We like her. Elizabeth Olsen's a great actress. She can emote better than her sisters, actually. Honestly, I think. But she's a really good actress, so she can emote, where you need to. Okay, I buy her as a sweet, kindly mom, and I also buy her as a fucking psycho bitch too. Okay, she's very good at both. So we understand her character. So I like that. At least this was a well-developed villain. Okay, we already know her. We've been following her for like 5 or 6 movies now. Okay, so the fact that she's the bad guy is not really a surprise. It's good. It's good because she's formidable. Like, they built up Thanos before we actually fought Thanos, all right? Well, they built up Scarlet Witch before we actually fought her. Okay, and that's because she was a good guy. She started off as a good guy who fell, And so that's the good. Those are some of the really good villains. You understand them. You already know them. You know what they used to be like. So you kind of feel bad to see what they've turned into. You kind of want them to go back to the way they were before, But even though that's never going to happen. Once you start killing innocent people, they're never going to go back to where they were before, And so I think that was good. Very complex villain. So I like that a lot. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's great as Doctor Strange. He's got that deep voice, which I never thought Doctor Strange was having a deep voice. I kind of thought of him as having kind of a British accent. I don't know why, because I know he's American. But whenever I read Doctor Strange, the voice I had in my mind, he kind of had a British accent, whereas, Benedict Cumberbatch does have a British accent, but he's playing American. He's got that deep American voice. And he's got the voice of somebody who's like, 250 pounds and jacked, solid muscle. And Stephen Strange is not 250 pounds jack solid muscle. Okay, he's not. All right, he's a skinny guy. He's in shape. Don't get me wrong, he's in shape, but he's not like overly muscle bound. He doesn't need to be. He's Doctor Strange. Okay, but Benedict Cumberbatch's voice is so deep that it kind of belongs on a stronger character. You know, a physically stronger character, and it's not. But that's my only real complaint. Other than that, like I said, we're talking about the good stuff. Okay, I like his portrayal. He has an authenticity to him. You know, he can play asshole really well. He can play annoyed very well, but he can also like emote. You know, so I like that. He's a great actor. He really is. He's done some good stuff before that I've seen. He's done some shitty stuff too. I mean, fucking Wrath of Khan. Oh yeah. There's no way you're gonna convince me that fucker's Ricardo Montalban from Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. No fucking way. But anyway, so he did a decent job, just like he did in the Avengers and Infinity War. You know, he's got the arrogance to him, but he's also kind of smart. He's not, we're talking about the good stuff now, okay? So, yeah, I think he pulled it off. I especially liked Wong, okay? Benedict Wong, he plays Wong. Now, in the comic book, Wong was actually basically Doctor Strange's, maid, basically his butler, basically, okay? But in these movies, he's another sorcerer. In this movie, he's the Sorcerer Supreme. We already learned that in Spider-Man: No Way Home. Okay, he's got the one-liners, he's got the quick quips, you know, and he's a very likable guy. He really Benedict Wong is he looks like your Asian uncle that comes over that you see every Thanksgiving or something, you know, and you just want to give him a hug every time you see him. He emotes that very well. One of the good things I like about Doctor Strange in this movie is that you never know who to trust. You never know who's good and going to betray you, or who's bad but you didn't know they were bad, or who you never know. Okay, so Doctor Strange is always walking that tightrope. Okay, is this person I just met? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they just pretending to be good, and then they're going to try to stab me in the back later, or are they really being good? Or you never know. Okay, but when Wong is there with Doctor, damn well Wong would never betray Doctor Strange. So at least he's got one guy there that has got his back no matter what. And I love that about it. I love that about Wong's character. He's the one guy that damn well is not going to betray Doctor Strange. He's not going to turn out to be a villain. He's not going to gloat or anything like that. He's actually there to protect Doctor Strange, And all he really asks Doctor Strange is, hey, why don't you bow down to me, motherfucker? I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, And he won't do it. He's because he's arrogant. I see that. It's his arrogance, He doesn't want to bow down to anybody, much less like the guy that used to have to bow down to him. He's like, no. So I like that. Like I said, those are the good qualities of the movie. It is a continuation of Wandavision. Like one of the first videos I did when I started this channel was I reviewed Wandavision. And if you remember that video, the biggest problem I had was they let Wanda go. Okay, she tortured all these people in a small town, held them hostage, and tortured them. We don't know how many died as a result of this. Several died, definitely. Several people died because of her actions. She did not face any consequences at all. The only consequences she faced were imagined. Oh, she lost her kids, but her kids weren't real anyway. So they were never real to begin with. So she didn't lose. You can't lose something if you never had it. Vision disappeared. Well, this version of Vision wasn't the real Vision. Okay, the real Vision was in a fucking warehouse somewhere, being studied by Sword. Okay, he had been killed. You killed him. During Infinity War, Well, Thanos killed him. So all these things that she suffered and lost were not real. She didn't suffer anything. She made other people suffer, And, okay, so she does the walk of shame. Like, come on, man. That's like almost every fucking college girl on Sunday morning. Okay, they've all done that walk of shame like she did. Really, that's her only penance? That's it? What about all the people that she murdered and tortured? I mean, she held a town hostage. For Christ's fucking sake, that's not something a good person does, and she gets no justice for that. She just gets to walk away. In fact, it's even worse. Is Monica Rambeau, who I think should have been the real Captain Marvel, honestly. She says they will never know what you had to sacrifice for them. You sacrificed their torture is what you fucking did. You're not the hero here. In the movie, they kind of played her off as she's the hero. They distracted us with Agatha Harkness as the villain, because Agatha Harkness was evil, okay? But Agatha Harkness was just exploiting the evil that Wanda already did, okay? So she wasn't the main bad. The main bad guy was Scarlet Witch. She was the main villain in that show. And they treated her at the end like she was just grieving. Let her go. She's just grieving. She feels bad enough, okay? And she goes off and reads the Darkhold and gets stronger. Well, now we see the results of that. Yeah, she read the dark hole. She got stronger, and now she wants to fucking get her kids back. She wants to get into alternate reality and get her kids back. You know, she wants to rewrite history again. She wants to create the universe in her own image. Come on, you don't get more megalomaniacal than that, right? So they got to stop her. She's the bad guy, okay? So anyway, and the other thing, America Chavez, she, I was expecting super woke, bitch, lesbian, I hate men, men are all pieces of shit, and this story's going to be written that way, bitch, but that's not what we got. Thank God, because I think a lot of people would have walked out of the theater, okay? She was okay. She wasn't like terrible or anything like that. She didn't fucking like piss me off or anything like that. Like I thought she was. Like I thought she would. The only thing that bothered me about her is in the very beginning, you know, when Doctor Strange saves her in New York from that big octopus thing. You know, they have lunch they go to a diner to talk to each other. Like he just saved her life from this huge fucking interdimensional creature. You know, and she starts being a bitch to him. You know, starts making fun of the fact that he doesn't speak Spanish. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this guy just saved your fucking life. You should be hugging him right now. You know? And instead, she's fucking making fun of the fact that he doesn't speak Spanish. You know, he calls him like away. ¿Qué es este way? ¿Qué es con él? ¿No puede hablar español? You know, like, what the fuck, man? He just saved your life and you're going to insult him? Like, really? Is that the tone you want to set with this character for us? But it turns out that's really the only time she does that. The rest of the time, she's a MacGuffin. She really is. She's only there because the main characters need her or want her. They're all chasing her, okay? Stephen Strange is trying to save her. Wanda is trying to get her and kill her, take her powers and kill her. Okay, so she's the MacGuffin that everyone's chasing, trying to capture her, okay? She's the plot device. That's basically what she is, a plot device. All right, so now I went through the good. Let's go through the bad, all right? There's a lot of bad, all right? First of all, the Marvel movies in general, okay? I understand that this is a fictional world. It's not realistic, okay? But if you fall out of a building, if you fall like 5 stories out of a building and you hit the ground, you should fucking die. Or at least have a lot of bones in your body broken, okay? And that shit doesn't, the characters in here are made out of rubber, okay? Like, you got characters being flung in the air 100 feet. Have you ever been flung in the air 100 feet? Has anything ever been strong enough to throw you up in the air 100 feet? What do you think is going to happen when you land? What do you think is going to happen? Your bones are going to break if you don't fucking die. Okay, you're going to have to go to the hospital, okay? There's going to be blood, you know, fractured skulls, broken bones, broken backs, broken legs, you know, broken ear canals, missing teeth. That's what happens when you get thrown 50 to 100 feet in the air and you land on concrete. That's what happens, okay? That doesn't happen here. Nobody gets hurt from that. And it happens a lot. People are getting flung around in the air. They're crashing into fucking concrete staircases, okay? They're getting thrown off of buildings, you know, and landing on the street, getting thrown into cars, okay? Have you ever gone through plate glass? Have you ever gone through plate glass? Okay, it's not like going through a fucking saran wrap. It's not, okay? It's like going through basically a wall, okay? It's like going through a fucking wall, okay? Imagine how much that's gonna fucking hurt. Not to mention all the glass getting in your skin and cutting you up. And if you hit it at the right angle, it's gonna cut you in half, okay? Or cut some arteries that you need in order to fucking live. All right, so it's not something you just fucking get knocked into, get up, and you know the movies make it look that way. Okay, but you know, and it's just so obvious. Like this is happening too many times. If it happened every once in a while, I wouldn't draw too much attention to it. But it just keeps happening over and over again, and nobody's getting hurt from this shit. Oh, they get knocked out, but then they wake up and they're fine. You know, I mean, come on. This isn't now. I know it's a superhero movie, okay, but you got to remember, like the first like couple of years of the Marvel movies. They didn't show us that stuff because they knew that we wouldn't believe it. We knew that they'll go, come on, nobody can survive a fall like that. Or come on, no one's fast enough to dodge bullets like that. You know, that kind of thing. So in the beginning of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they went out of their way not to do that to us. Okay? That's one of the reasons the movies were much better than they are now. Now, they don't give a fuck. You get hit by a car, you're fine. You know? It's like Fast and the Furious movies. Like, holy shit, dude. You get thrown into a fucking car at 55 miles an hour. As long as you hit the windshield, you're fine. You can just get up. Get the fuck out of here. But that's what they're doing here. But they're not hitting windshields. They're hitting fucking concrete. Okay, and they're all okay, just getting up like they're okay. Now, if they had superpowers, I could get it, but they don't have like superhuman endurance. They don't have healing factors. Okay, they don't have a force field on. They don't, none of that shit. They're just getting thrown around like it's nothing. And I'm just like, come on, there's only so much I can take of this. Okay, so that took me out of the movie, and you never want to take me out of the movie. Okay, so I didn't like that. America Chavez, you know, she was, like I said, she was a plot device. She really, she was what moved the plot forward. Everything circles around her. What happens to her is the focus of the entire movie. Okay, and so everyone's got to run around to accommodate her, to save her, and she's basically a victim this whole movie. She's this is her whole movie. She's scared. She needs to be protected. She's scared. She got caught. You got to save her. She's scared. She's running. You know. It's like a fucking James Bond movie. You know what? James Bond always grabs the hot girl and they're just running around together, holding his hand. You know. Well, that's kind of what this is. You know, literally, that's what it is. Look at the first scene in the movie. What is it? He's fucking holding her hand and they're running from this monster. Oh, you know, I mean, it's like, come on. You know, we've seen this a million times, and that's her whole purpose in the movie. She doesn't really do anything else, you know, except be the thing that everybody's trying to get. They're trying to get her. Okay, so there's that. And you know, and I don't mind her being, I know she's a lesbian in the comic books, but they don't specifically say that she is a lesbian, but I'm guessing she comes from Planet Lesbian, because she comes from another alternate universe where she is the only one that exists. See, she multi-hops through universes, and every universe, everybody exists. A different version of everybody exists in every universe. All right? So, but in her, but she came from one universe where she's the only one that exists. So no matter what universe she goes into, she's the only America Chavez that ever existed, right? So she's in a universe when she first gets her powers because a bee gets on her. She was raised by two women. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, two women. Yeah, she has two moms. Tengo dos madres. Son mis madres. That's what she says. I guess they're from the alien Puerto Rican planet. Yes. There's an alien Puerto Rican planet where they're Puerto Rican over. There's two Puerto Ricos. There's one here, and there's the one on Alpha Centauri, and that's the one she's from. Okay? And I guess they're lesbians there too. All right. So she accidentally teleports her fucking two moms to some other dimension. Even though she goes in after them, she doesn't find them again ever. So she thinks that she killed them. So she's just been reality hopping ever since then, dealing with the guilt of the trauma of her, you know, of killing her moms. But Dr. Strange tells her, hey, if you were a kid, it was an accident, and you probably didn't kill him. You just haven't found him yet, okay? Don't say that, okay? Nobody once asked, what about her dad? What? What about her dad? Those two women did not impregnate themselves, okay? Where did the sperm come from? Maybe we need to ask, maybe let's find her dad. Maybe he can help. Maybe he knows something about these. She can't control her powers. She don't know how she got them. Maybe he can help. Maybe he knows something about it. Maybe he's got something in his biology, passed it on to her. Maybe he can do the same thing. Nobody asked that question throughout this whole movie. Once again, nobody gives a shit about the dad. Nobody gives a shit about that. I can understand, okay, the lesbian mom, that's fine, whatever, okay? But these two women did not fucking impregnate her, okay? These two women did not create her, okay? There had to be some sperm coming from somewhere, okay? What about that guy? Let's find out about that guy. Never mentioned. Never brought up. No one asked that question. She sure as fuck doesn't cry over her dad. You know, so yeah, and nobody gives a shit, right? Now, one cool thing I will say is that Doctor Strange takes on the paternal role. Like, I didn't see that coming, and I thought it was kind of cool because it doesn't fit the Hollywood narrative, but he actually becomes a pseudo-father figure to her throughout the course of the movie. Okay, so she does actually have a father figure. It's Doctor Strange. So I thought that was kind of cool. Oh my God, so they're not saying that father figures are not important. They're not, because I thought they were going to go with that narrative, you know? She only misses her moms. But no, she's got kind of a dad, Doctor Strange. So I thought that was kind of cool. He's the paternal, he's the one protecting her, guiding her, teaching her, you know? These are all good things, you know? Oh my God, Doctor Strange is like a good dad. Holy shit, somebody call Ripley. They actually had a positive male role model in one of these movies in Hollywood today, 2022? No fucking way. Yeah, they did. All right. But it's very, you got to think about it to realize that's what you saw. Like, oh my God, yeah, he was kind of paternal. He was kind of like a dad to her, you know? Temporary, but you know, during the course of the adventure, he was taking care of her, protecting her, you know? So yeah, guiding her, giving her wisdom. So that's going on here. So so there was that. She's got the pride flag on. Well, they got pride flags in other dimensions too, you know? And she makes this little speech about how food is all free in every dimension. Well, it's only free for you because you didn't fucking pay for it, okay? But everywhere else is not free, okay? Nothing's fucking free. I know they're making a commentary on communism and all this shit, but no, nothing is fucking free. Someone had to work for that food. Someone had to bust their ass to get that food in your fucking hand, okay? More than one person had to do that, okay? So it's not fucking free, all right? But so that goes on there, you know. So I didn't like the message, okay? She's got her pride flag, but, you know, she's very asexual. And it probably is because she's like 15 years old, okay? But she's very asexual, okay? She's not turned on by anybody. We're not talking about her sexuality, which is kind of good, okay? But then if that's the case, then why does she have to wear her pride flag? Right there, okay? Why does she have to wear that, you know? It just comes across as stupid, you know? It comes across as sitcom shit, okay? She's from another multiverse, okay? They have pride flags in the other multiverse. She's from fucking planet Puerto Rico. Do they have pride flags over there? No, they don't. That's just here in this universe, and there's a reason they're showing that to you. Okay, see what I mean? Okay, so there's that. Doctor Strange, he has no story arc at all. The only thing about him is that he misses his ex-girlfriend. You know, the Notebook star herself, Rachel McAdams, he misses her. She's getting married in the very beginning of the movie, and he wishes he'd been married her. She had married him, and he kind of tells her that, but she's like, well, you're never around. You're too busy being a superhero, so I had to fucking marry somebody else. You know, and he kind of feels bad about that. He's heartbroken about it. Now, the idea that Benedict Cumberbatch cannot get another fucking girl is ridiculous to me. Okay, that the Sorcerer fucking Supreme can't get fucking laid is ridiculous to me, but he's hung up over this girl. And the only time we ever do any sort of introspection about Doctor Strange is when he's feeling bad about her. When someone's reminding her that he fucked it up. Of course he fucked it up. She had nothing to do with it, right? Yeah, she didn't just fucking get with another guy because he got fucking, you know, obliviated for 5 years. No, it's all his fault. He's like, yep, you're right. I'm a stupid, straight white male. It is my fault. Of course it's my fault. Everything's my fault. You called it. It's my fault, and I'm going to act like it is my fault. She didn't do anything wrong. It was all me. You know, the typical, you know, straight white guy. And I'm not even white, and I'm fucking saying this. The typical straight white guy thing. Yep, I got to apologize for you. Yep, I fucked it up. Whenever they have a relationship drama in these movies, it's always the guy's fault. Always. The girl never fucks up. It's always the guy. And this is no different. Oh my God, yeah. So that's going on here, and he finally gets to tell an alternate version of Christine, you know, not the one that he's in love with, an alternate version from an alternate world. He gets to tell her that he's sorry for fucking it all up, and he wants to see her. He wants to try again with her, but she's like, nope. And he's like, okay, you're right, I'm a fuck up. And this is after he fucking saved the universe. Okay, yeah, so that I didn't like that. Scarlet Witch, once again, you got to watch WandaVision to know what's going on with her. She got away with everything in WandaVision, and the fact that nobody tried to put her in jail. Doctor Strange knew what happened in WandaVision, but he still fucking approached her like, hey, you had a bad day. No big deal. You fixed it at the end. I'm not here to put you in jail, you know? And then he finds out she's the villain, and he can't beat her because she's way too powerful, you know? So he needs help, okay? I liked Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal, but what I didn't like is this is a fucking Doctor Strange movie. And in Doctor Strange needs to fucking kick her ass. He does not kick her ass. He helps America Chavez kick her ass. And America Chavez doesn't even really kick her ass. She just takes her to the alternate world so her kids can see how evil she really is and not want her. So now she's lost her motivation, so she kills herself, okay, at the end. But we know she didn't really kill herself because Elizabeth Olsen signed a 7-year contract with Marvel. So we know she's coming back. So she's not dead, all right? I didn't like that. What else? Otherwise, you know, the cameos, you have Professor X. He gets treated like shit. He's there. He dies. You know, Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. Yeah, John Krasinski plays him in there. He's the dumbest fucking idiot in the whole fucking movie, even though he's supposed to be the smartest man in the world. He tells Scarlet Witch how to kill Black Bolt right before she kills Black Bolt. You know? What the fuck? Why would you do that? Why would you say, hey, my friend here, all he has to do is say a word out of his mouth and you'll be dead like that. And she's like, him over there? Yeah, him right there. Okay, what mouth are you talking about? And he's like, and he kills himself. Come on! That was stupid. I mean, and then she fucking turns Mr. Fantastic into a fucking Twizzler. What the fuck, man? He died just like that. And in pain. And his comrades, Captain Marvel, Maria Rambeau, not Monica Rambeau, or fucking Carol Manvers, but Maria Rambeau, you know, Latasha Lynch, you know, the new James Bond, the new 007, yeah, her. She's just like, you know, she sees her teammates get killed right there, but they're straight white men, so it's okay. And instead of them like helping them, instead of them attacking Scarlet Witch, they're just watching them, their teammates die. It's her and Haley Atwell, Peggy Carter, the British Captain America. How's that fucking make sense? Now, for those of you who are telling me, oh yeah, but she's got a Union Jack, so she's not really American. Okay, then what the fuck is a British citizen doing in the United States fucking Army? Yeah, why don't you fucking answer that question? Anyway, so that's going on here, and they're looking as their male, straight white male teammates die horribly, and then they decide to pitch in, right? Now, they're not traumatized by this. They're just like, Latasha Lynch, the black captain, she's like, oh, hell no, you did not just do that. And she fucking puts on her shit and gets killed. Now, they actually put up a fight. The women put up a really good fight. They don't get killed right away. They actually, there's back and forth going on, okay? The men get killed like that. They're nothing. And that includes Professor X, too, basically. But the women, oh, no. The women, it's going back and forth. You don't really know who's going to win. And then, Captain, Haley Atwell gets cut in half by her own shield. And Captain Marvel gets a statue gets thrown on top of her. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of death. And what else? That's about it. I didn't like that aspect of it. I didn't like the fact that that Doctor Strange did not defeat the villain. That it had to be another woman that had to defeat a crazy woman. There's no guarantee Scarlet Witch is dead. Like I said, there was a flash of Scarlet energy when she collapsed the mountain on top of herself. So, there's a lot of like maybe that didn't happen. Otherwise, I thought the movie was okay. I know in the bonus credits, they show Charlize Theron as Clea, who is actually Doctor Strange's girlfriend in the comic books. So she shows up in a cameo right at the end, in the end credits. Okay? So hopefully some romance will go on with there because fucking the Notebook girl is marrying some other guy. Other than that, I just don't think the Marvel movies right now, they're being a little too jokey. They're being too sitcom-y, very tame. And I know they're trying to appeal to a wide audience. It's Disney, after all, okay. But you got to have some sort of consequences for these characters, okay. If you don't want us to not believe your story, then don't throw human beings into concrete walls. Just don't do it, okay. That way we won't believe that they're fucking invulnerable. That your average human being is invulnerable, okay. Because that's what this movie's doing, okay. Other than that, I thought the movie was entertaining. I love the fight scene where Scarlet Witch just fucking wiped out everybody at Kamar-Taj. That was pretty good. That was well done. She really sold the evilness of her character, and I love the fact that she was just boom, 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 blowing everybody away. I thought that was really good. I like the fact that there was continuity as far as they brought in the same actors that played her kids in Wandavision. They brought them back. They even brought back Black Bolt, the actor that played Black Bolt in that piece of shit Inhumans TV show. Okay, which they released in the theaters, and I fucking went to go see it. Yeah, that actor, Anson Mount, the guy that played Black Bolt. Yeah, they brought him back to play Black Bolt again, this time in a comic book accurate costume, But they actually brought him back. Like, holy shit, that's attention to detail. I can respect attention to detail. All right, good to go. And of course, they brought back, Patrick Stewart as Professor X. But like John Krasinski was wasted as Reed Richards, so I didn't like that. Otherwise, I thought the movie was okay. It's not the best. The Marvel movies are kind of going downhill. I got to be honest with you. This is the best one I've seen since Endgame. Well, I'm not counting Spider-Man because that's a Sony movie. But like Eternals was a piece of shit. Shang Tsung was it's about as good as this one, honestly. Black Widow is about as good as this one, honestly. But they haven't had anything really good. Nothing like a Winter Soldier or like an Avengers, Infinity War. Nothing like that recently. So that's my review. Thank you for watching.